Hey y'all, so today your girl wanted to stop by to talk about something that came up for me recently as I was discussing my alopecia on YouTube. The other day I got a comment and the comment basically read, was your alopecia attributed to weaves, wigs, tight hairstyles? And I was like, no, but it got me to thinking about, there are a lot of misconceptions about alopecia. And I wanted to stop by to just address some of those today. But before I get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So if you're new to my channel, this is your first time watching, I have alopecia. I have centrifugal alopecia. So that's basically CCA, I believe is the acronym. My hair falls out in circular patches. This area in the crown is my biggest problem spot. I'm kind of like not growing my hair out, but I'm feeling like I want to try a tapered cut again. So I'm trying to see if I can do that and what that will look like. Girl, the truth is I'm about ready to cut this thing off again. I really like my low cut, but I think I'm going to just hold out for another month or so and we'll see how this goes. But, I started noticing my alopecia when I was in like my early 20s. It started with a circular spot in the top. And then throughout the years, that would kind of fluctuate. I remember like in 2017, 2018, this area in the middle like was totally like, I wouldn't say totally gone, but it was like a lot of thinning there and you could see it. And my scalp had broken out just very bad. So with centrifugal alopecia, what makes it different than the others is that there are some other scalp issues that may occur. Tenderness, dermatitis, psoriasis, and that was something that at that time that I was experiencing a lot of itchiness, right? And throughout the years I have just kind of come to terms with alopecia, and it's not something that really bogs down my day or that I put a whole lot of thought into on a regular basis. Sometimes I would be like, I'm noticing this, noticing that, but I think I've gotten better just in my journey with it not bothering me as much, but I wasn't always there. So I got that comment the other day on my channel, with someone who was just asking, and they weren't being rude, at least I don't think they were, they were just asking, was my, alopecia attributed to any of those things, right? Weaves, wigs, tight hairstyles. And y'all, just a little background, like on my hair journey. Like I always had long hair, I always had thick hair. It was always like at least shoulder length. It was always really, really thick. Did I get relaxers? Heck yeah, girl. Who didn't? Okay, and I did like get relaxers young. I probably I don't remember pictures of me as a little kid without a relaxer. Okay, so I probably was like 5 or 6, maybe somewhere in that range. And yeah, I would get relaxers probably when I was little. Like it may have been like your standard 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe longer than that. As I, grew up and got older. Now, there was a time where I did over relax my hair, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, baby. If I felt like I was gonna cross over into that 6-week stage, but it was really 5 weeks, I was like, girl, relax me down, okay? I was scared of what, the consequences would have been of that, right? And I'm tender-headed too, so, ain't nobody have time for that back then. But yeah, there was a time definitely where I over relaxed my hair, but I was never big on weaves. Like I didn't wear weave growing up. I didn't do wigs. Y'all see my YouTube channel. I just started wearing wigs, girl. But I wasn't big on weaves or wigs or even tight hairstyles, like even braids growing up. Like of course throughout my years, like I would have braids every now and then, but I wasn't even big on that. So weave, just wasn't like a big part of my life growing up. But there is just that misconception that people who wear tight hairstyles, and not that these things won't cause alopecia or can cause alopecia, right? But there is just a misconception that, you know, you was doing this to your hair and that's how this happened, you know, and that's not always the case. You know, for me and my story, you know, my mom has alopecia, her mom has alopecia. So, you know, I want to say that it may, you know, have a genetic component to it. I also know that for me, it's tied to stress. You know, when I think about stressful times within my life, like last year was a really stressful time for me. Even 2 years ago was a really stressful time for me. And I can think about, you know, my hair thinning out. You know, I can think about, you know, my scalp issues getting worse. So, you know, for me and my story, there's that genetic side, and then there's also that stress side as well. You know, as someone who didn't wear weaves or wigs, you know, that just wasn't a part of my alopecia journey. Like I said, yeah, some of these hairstyles, yeah, they're gonna take your hair clean out, or you might want to stop doing that. But you know, that's not always the case, and that's really a big misconception about alopecia. Another misconception that I often see or hear is that, you know, because you have alopecia, that your self-esteem is just like low and you're just gonna take whatever come to you. Now listen, I'm not saying that on this journey of alopecia, hair loss, that your self-esteem won't be affected. Yes, you know, self-esteem is a part of this journey, but that doesn't mean that a person, you know, is depressed, or you know, they have, you know, anxiety. Not to say that they haven't, you know, battled with that before, in regards to alopecia, because yeah, it is something that can bring on those things. But it's also important to remember that, you know, I am a person, another person is a person outside of my alopecia. You know, that's just a part of me. And, you know, there are a lot of us who are pretty, you know, good in our confidence bag. Listen, just because I'm giving Cynthia, you know, some days don't mean that I'm just going to be talking to anything, that I'm just going to be accepting anything in my life. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with that, okay? So, you know, it's very important to remember that, yeah, folks with alopecia, confidence is still through the roof for a lot of us. You know, like I said, not to say that there aren't some people who are working their way up to that, but you don't just want to, you know, automatically assume that somebody must be really in the dumps, that, you know, that they don't want to get out of bed because of their hair loss, you know, because that couldn't be further from the truth for a lot of us. Now, this is something that just gets me every time. Oh my gosh. You need to try this hair oil, or you need to go try this treatment. You know, make sure you washing your hair with this 3 times a week. There is not a cure for alopecia, y'all. Oh my Lord. You know, alopecia is an autoimmune issue. You know, my body is attacking my hair cells for whatever reason, and there is no cure at this moment. You know, hopefully there will be a cure, you know, one day, but right now, you know, it ain't nothing. Okay, so save, you know, all of your remedies, right? This is an internal issue. And that's not to say that I don't still oil my hair. You know, that's not to say that I won't, you know, utilize hair growth, you know, oils and things like that. But I understand, you know, that there is no cure for this. So, you know, if my hair grows back, it grows back. And if it don't, it don't. You know, another misconception is that folks with alopecia, that I want my hair to grow back, that it's something that I'm thinking on and praying on, you know, every single day. Like, there are bigger fish to fry, okay? You know, besides hair. And it's not to say that, you know, if my hair grew back that I wouldn't be upset about it, but it's, you know, not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope my hair grows back. You know, like I said, right now I'm kind of playing with it to see what it's going to do, but it's right in the forefront of my thinking to just cut this thing off, because I like my low cut. And, you know, that's, you know, I'm sure how, you know, a lot of us feel is that we're just at a place where I'm not overly consumed with if my hair is going to grow back. It's not something, you know, that I'm putting a lot of time in. I still, you know, do my regular, you know, hair care stuff. I pick it out. You know, I'll spray it down with some water, you know, I'll curl it up a little bit, you know, but I am not, you know, at a place where I'm like, man, I really, you know, hope my hair comes back tomorrow. You know, we'll see what it do. Okay, it's just not that big of a deal, you know, right now. So listen, if you have alopecia or any hair loss, all my alopecia girls and guys, drop down in the comments and let me know, you know, what are some misconceptions that you have heard about alopecia? I'm sure there's some that I missed. So drop down in the comments and let us know what you have heard. And listen, if you want to know more about my alopecia journey, click this playlist here. Bye.